कहाँ है ये सारी अकाउंटेबिलिटीज? कहाँ है कि हमारी बॉडीज इतनी देर तक जलती रही, पानी नहीं था कि हम उनको पहचान नहीं सके? 10 दिन बाद हमने उनको दफनाया है, कि कुछ लोगों ने महीने बाद दफनाया। कहाँ है वो अकाउंटेबिलिटी? हम कैसे आजाद करते हैं? हम कैसे इजाजत दें कि 4 साल बाद फिर, जैसे जुनेद जमशेद का हुआ, उसके बाद हमारा हुआ, फिर 4 साल बाद एक हो जाए? हमारा जमीन इजाजत देगा 4 साल बाद फिर करे और हम कहें हमने तो आरडीए साइन कर दिया था, हम लड़े ही नहीं, हम इन लोगों के लिए लड़े नहीं। आज 4 साल बाद जो फिर लोग शहीद हो गए, हमारा जमीन इजाजत नहीं देगा इस चीज को। प्लीज, आई वुड लाइक दीज क्वेश्चंस टू बी आंसर्ड।
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much if you have been with me, and this is the second episode of what I wanted to convey to the international media and the national media, so there are no confusions whatsoever. You see, the word compensation they're using is actually incorrect. It's not a compensation as per Air Carriage Act of Pakistan. 5 million is the immediate payment that they're supposed to make, which is not a compensation, okay? And then the age of the victim is calculated, what he was doing at the time of death, what kind of money was he earning, what kind of life expectancy he had. For example, if when the person passed away, he was making, say, 200,000 rupees a month. He was 26 years old. Life expectancy around, as per Pakistani standards, I think it's 60 average. So that's how it's calculated, just to cut it short. Now, what they are saying is that 5 million, and they raised it to 10 million, but they ask us to sign an indemnity, which is technically called RDA, something that says release draft agreement. Now, what is RDA? An indemnity to PIA, that once we sign that, we take the money, and we don't look back at anything about this disaster, this crash. You cannot go to the courts, you cannot go to the international court. Interestingly enough, they have included Civil Aviation Authority, they have included manufacturer, they have included the company that made the landing gears, and their excuse is that their insurance company, which is international, has asked them that they should take these signatures on this document. This document was declared illegal by Peshawar High Court, and they declared it illegal after the crash of Air Blue, where the victims' families had gone to the courts claiming all sorts of things like we are. Now, High Court declared it illegal. They were cornered, and they brought that RDA up again. Interestingly enough, in one case, they paid the full 10 million without the gentleman signing the indemnity, because on various calls from Session Court of Sindh to PIA to come over to the court and give their statements, they were not responding. Ultimately, a contempt of court was issued, and then ultimately they were told to appear in the court after they deposit the money, or the contempt of court would stand valid. So I want to know what happened to your RDA. Why did you have to pay one person without him signing that document? And their lame excuse was, yes, we were told by the court. So are you going to tell us that only the court can fix you up? That's the only way you'll pay. We had 2 meetings with Governor Sindh, who was kind enough to, he was very kind. He called in PIA, he called in Civil Aviation, he called in National Disaster Management Cell, agency, and there was no result. When he asked the civil aviation person, where's the report? He said, sir, it's not ready. And the governor told them that, why did you come then? I asked you to come with the report. There's no report yet. It's been a year, there's no report on the crash. And then when he talked to PIA, they didn't have any answers. They literally did not have any answers to all the questions. And they said that we'll get this document and we'll get that document. In short, there was no outcome of that meeting, and the governor was kind enough to hold another meeting in the governor house again, which was held. In that, additionally, the governor had called in the Federal Law Ministry people to sort out the things. Apparently, there was a sincere effort from the governor to sort it out for us. And at one moment, the governor asked them, the law ministry people, about why can PIA pay the $5 million at least without the indemnity. And the positive, clear-cut reply from the Ministry of Law was that yes, they can pay $5 million without the factory signing the RDA. And then the governor turned to the CEO, Mr. Arshad Malik, and asked him that, okay, so why don't you pay $5 million for now, so that, you know, there are families, seriously suffering families, who had their only bread earner from the house for the family in that plane, they lost. And they are in a situation where they do not have enough money to pay their rents even. They are seriously suffering thanks to PIA. And even then, when the governor asked him as to why shouldn't he pay $5 million without the factory signing the RDA, and he Mr. Arshad Malik started murmuring into the ear of the governor about whatever he was trying to tell him. Basically, obviously, his answer was no. So that's where we stand. We have challenged the RDA in the High Court of Sindh. We are around the corner to challenge all of them now in the courts if they are not going to pay us while we are not going to sign that RDA document. So this battle is on, and we will fight. We are a strong group together now. We have lost our loved ones, but we have not lost our integrity. The idea being that if we simply sign the document, take our money, go back home quietly, the agenda of our whole mission is to make a change, which these people are not making. If they get away with our signatures, there will not be any change. PIA will continue to be a deadly airline. 6 to 5 crashes in 5 to 6 years in Pakistan, the worst record in the history of aviation globally. And they are not changing. All those crashes from Junaid Jamshed to Air Blue, nobody was taken to task. Nobody made changes. Nobody looked at what is going wrong in our aviation systems. We are fighting for this change. It's not about the money. It is that your family will be traveling tomorrow in another aircraft within Pakistan. And we need to make that safer for you and your family. PIA needs to make it safer. Civil aviation needs to make it safer. After 1 year's struggle, the only change they have made so far is on the law for the crew to be fasting. Internationally, when a Muslim pilot was boarding the cabin, he was made to eat a date to ensure that he's not fasting. We understand these two pilots were fasting, and obviously your sugar level goes down, etc. And you are traveling, so as per the religious laws as well, they are allowed while traveling not too fast. So now, lately, two weeks back, PIA declared that no cabin crew will be fasting during Ramzan if they are flying the aircraft. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier about ATC, airport traffic control, is that internationally, if the ATC tells the pilot to go around and he does not, the pilot is punishable. I bet if this plane, this PIA plane, if it was going to land at Dubai airport and the ATC at Dubai had told him to turn around, there is no way on earth he would not have turned around rather than saying, I'm comfortable. He broke the law because the PIA captains in Pakistan have been made gods of the airport. They override ATC, they override everybody. These are the kind of changes we want. Thank you very much. Your prayers are needed. Assalamu alaikum.